guys? It's your boy John, the Liquidator, coming back with another video. And it looked like Dillion Gabriel has broken his silence about Joe Flacco being traded. And he has some things to talk about with SHEDEUR. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Cleveland. Let's get it. Let's go.
Like my man Junior.
For real? Somebody call me Junior, too.
When I pulled up, I thought you was Junior. I got put on my face.
Stop right here for me. Go on and fill in. Go on and fill in.
It's another day, and it's some more Cleveland Browns drama, dog. And in words of Coach Prime, we don't really care about the Cleveland Browns, but we do care about SHEDEUR. So we finna report on this whole situation. So we all know Joe Flacco got the boot of a lifetime, man. They got him the hell out of Dodge in Cleveland and sent him up the road to Cincinnati. Well, I guess what? I am here to tell you that Dillion Gabriel broke his silence about the matter, and he had a lot of stuff to say, man. Let's check out what he had to say right now, and let's roll the damn footage.
So what was your, how'd you find out? What was your reaction? You heard that Joe was traded yesterday.
Yeah, found out we had, a QB meeting, got to talk to Joe right before he was heading out. But like I said before, I appreciate him. He's, a part of the journey and this journey for me individually in the NFL. So grateful for him and, wish him the best of luck for sure.
How much of a shock was it for you?
I'm not surprised by anything at this point in the NFL. It's the day and age we live in. So anything can really happen. So
How do you replace that experience and leadership that I think you were relying on to some degree without him here? And then what's that dynamic in that room now?
Yeah, I think dynamic is always evolving, especially when there is change. But I think it still goes back to us, being able to have that experience for yourself. I think you learn the best when you are thrown into a fire a little bit. I'd be a hypocrite to say otherwise. So I think the more experience you gain, game after game, week after week, you'll get better. And, B-Zap has played a bunch of ball as well. So,
Still, from an individual standpoint, what were your first impressions when you watched the film?
yeah, just, a lot to clean up. There's always going to be, good and bad. But I think just having a calm persistence to attack it regardless of the result and try to get better within your process. But is there things I want back? 100%. You know what I mean? I think that's for everyone in this game. But I think you got to look at it and find solutions and be solutions-based that can help, the outcome here in the future.
In your vast college career, you played in a lot of hostile environments.
Yep.
Pittsburgh is one in the NFL. So would you rather not know the history of Pittsburgh, playing in Pittsburgh? Keep your mind uncluttered and just find out for yourself what it's like?
I think you kind of find out by yourself. Of course, you hear a lot from others and understanding the rivalry. And, myself playing in rivalry games, totally understand that. But I still think there's, just the main importance of just doing your job, and doing it at a high level. So that'll all come, and have a lot of respect for Pittsburgh and what they've done. And that's for every opponent we play.
Dylan, what is maybe one major thing that you learned from Joe Flacco? What will you continue to hear or see in your mind about something that he told you or taught you?
Yeah, I don't think it's one thing. I wouldn't want to limit it to that, but I think just overall his process, how he's been about his business from day one, really, how he approaches meetings, practice, taking care of his body, kind of his daily routine. So I think you pick up on that as you're around people and try to make it your own and learn how you can improve your routine. But more importantly, just the friendship and the person he is. Although there's an age gap, I think just being able to connect and have those conversations, I appreciate those a lot.
In London, I couldn't tell being there, but when you were on the sideline looking over the tablet, was Flacco involved in that?
I think everyone's involved in that. I think I don't want to break down the whole, but you look at your, tablet and you kind of think for yourself. You ask questions. Guys are there. kind of flip-flop even when, I was in that chair. So I think everyone says what they can whenever, the time is right.
Dylan, Kevin told us that he's going to wait until later in the week to decide if SHEDEUR can be the number 2
Yep.
or if maybe Bailey would be the number 2. Does that impact you and your
I
preparation?
don't handle any of that. I'll leave that to coaches, but we got a great room, a bunch of guys that either played or, have the potential to play. And I think we just come together as a team, and the importance is trying to find ways to win. But I'll leave that with coach. You know what I'm saying?
Not the decision, but what I meant was, do the number 1 and number 2 guys, because you guys are like out there taking most of the first team reps together, is there a synergy that happens during the week between you guys just in terms of preparation, in terms of film study? And does this sort of delay in decision, does that impact your preparations in any way whatsoever? Or do you guys all do that stuff together?
No, it's always been together. So I think just business as usual. But like I said, just solution-based and trying to find ways to win and be flexible and open to that.
That being said, did you have a conversation with SHEDEUR after the Flacco trade of kind of how crazy and surreal it is that, it started out four-man competition and now the 2 rookies are left skating? You guys have conversations about that?
I think our whole room just, talked shortly after, but at this point, we're really not surprised what can happen in the NFL. So, yeah.
Already? Already you're not surprised?
Or, yeah, at this point, anything that can happen.
Pittsburgh has a lot of turnovers, their defense. What do you make of what you see so far?
Yeah, they're extremely talented. I think there's individual pieces for sure, but I think as a whole, play really well together. Know a couple of the guys, know of a lot of the guys. So, got a lot of respect for them. We got to prepare a certain way. I think that's every week, but most importantly this week, because that's all you can control.
Dylan, with those takeaways that day for us, I guess how much of a test is this for your processing, since obviously that's what everyone talks about?
Yeah, I think it's always a test week to week. There's a challenge ahead, and certain teams have different challenges, and you got to find solutions to that. So, like I said, we got to be flexible. We got to be open to ideas to find ways to beat that. But you control that by being really good today.
Dylan, 17 points that's kind of been where this offense has been since the beginning of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you don't have anything to do with that, but your first start, you guys scored 17. So just from your standpoint, what do you think you guys can do potentially to get beyond that and give yourselves a chance to win more of these games?
Sustainability, we always talk about it. You want to be efficient and sustain drives, but it is hard to score points, of course. But that's our job. We got to find ways to do that and do it at a higher clip. But small gains, we're building and got to continue to do that. But we'd love to score every single drive, obviously. But I think that's us learning to sustain drives together. And you watch the film back. There's a lot of times we can help ourselves make more competitive plays. And starts with me for sure.
Dylan, we've talked a lot to you about the rookie class in general, and it's just beyond the draft class, right? There's a bunch of rookies, playing big roles. So first, how exciting is that? But also, what kind of challenges do you think it presents, whether it's during the practice week or on game day?
Yeah, it's a good young core. A lot of guys that I'll say I've known a bunch about, and glad I get to go to war with. But I think that just shows ultimate belief in all the experience that we've had as a whole, going out there and doing our thing. But a lot of guys who've made a lot of plays for us this season thus far will continue to. But I think we're continuing to build that, and the trust is obviously there. But how can we take it to a whole nother level? Because like I said, we got to, put solutions that can help us find a better outcome.
Dylan, let's say 2 more. Dylan, now that the first one's out, your first start's out of the way. Just how prepared do you feel to be able to take on more and do